Finally, I got a call from the principal of Douglas County High School. Uh, and he said, it was in February. He said, I've got a coach that's leaving that teaches social studies. And he said, yeah, you got a degree from history from Emory. I said, that's right. He said, well, if that's good enough for me, unsight unseen, he offered me the job. Well, I didn't want to teach school, I didn't think. But I went out there and talked, and I decided that it was better than starving, so that I would teach school from February until June, just as a stopgap. That'd be something that then I could have time to look and not be totally bankrupt at the time. So I took the job teaching school in Douglas County High School, and moved out to Douglasville. I got an old buddy from Emory set me up, loaned me $50 to get me out there and pay my first week's rent. So I moved out to Douglas County to teach school at the high school for that year, just from February, and got hooked and stayed in education 32 years. It was whatever it is in a career. I think it's the interaction with other people and the friendships you make, the lives you influence that makes it worthwhile. I loved teaching. I didn't know that that's what I was called to do, but I really loved teaching. I loved my classroom experience. I loved my students. When I got there to the high school, I taught American history and geography. Now, I didn't love teaching geography. The last geography class I'd had was in the 7th grade, and I talked about bluffing your way through. If I could read a chapter ahead of the kids, and was able to do that. But in the history class, I taught American history, and I felt very comfortable with that. But I enjoyed my classroom work. The second year I was there had been an accrediting committee visiting, and they said they had a girls' glee club. The lady who taught private piano lessons had a girls' glee club that, well, they sang twice a year, and they had ditto sheets of music, and learned an alto part by rote. But that was the girls' glee club. They asked me if I would take a mixed chorus, because for accrediting they needed to have something that the boys would be involved in too. And I told them on one condition, that if they would let me have a male chorus 1 year while the girls' glee club was in operation, then I would make it a mixed chorus. But I said, if I start off going from a girls' chorus to a mixed chorus, guys are going to come into it because that's all they've ever had there. And so I recruited about 40 guys from the front line of the football team. I didn't care whether they could sing or not. I wanted guys that nobody's going to say anything about the glee club, and come out of it alive. And so the first year in 1957, I organized the male chorus, and the guys went to festival, came back with superior rating, doing good music. The guys could sing and didn't know it. We had a wonderful time. And the next year I started my mixed chorus there, it developed to quite a fine choral program before I left in '71. It's I'm not a philosopher, but I think that all things do work together for those that love God. I really believe that. I think that the things that happen to us are usually for a purpose, and that bad things do happen to good people. That the way people deal with those things tells a lot about those people, how we deal with adversities. I said I believe in being positive. I believe in trying to make the folks that are around you comfortable and happy. I love people. I really do love people. I genuinely do. Uh, I would have a hard time seeing how anybody who didn't could make it in life. I think it's a key that you don't have to like everything everybody does, but I generally love people, more some than others. But I like to be with people. I like to do for people. I think that we talk about music. It's been a tremendous positive influence in my life. I think that sometimes I've looked at. I spoke to the church and I told them about that. I felt like that most of the theology that most of us have really came from the music we sing, not from the sermons we heard or the studying that we've done. We accept our theology and music speaks to me. It's I mean, not just the words, but music speaks to me, and I find it very comforting and also challenging. But I would say that life's good. That real riches are to be found in loving other people.